Hey, I'm the Homestead Artist. Hey y'all, so today I'm going to do a video on kind of a comparison video. I have never actually worked with gouache. It's a type of paint that basically mimics watercolors, but instead of it, being translucent or transparent like watercolors, it is opaque. So therefore, it does not see through. It's not see through like that of watercolors. So I have never actually worked with gouache. I've only heard of other people and seen other people's work with it, but I've never actually done this before. So I'm going to experiment, just seeing how much of a difference it is between watercolors and gouache, to see if there is a difference between the two, other than the fact that you can paint white on top of dark with the gouache. So whereas with watercolors you can only paint light and then dark on top of light, but you can't paint white on top of dark. So with gouache, since it is opaque, and though it is water based, or works well with water rather, you can paint light on dark or dark on light. So you can do both with it, which is really awesome about that, because I've always really never liked that about watercolors, because I could never paint. Always have to paint my light first and then go in over it with dark. So, and if I messed up, then oops, it's really hard to erase that mistake. So I'm really excited about trying gouache. I think that's how you say it. I've heard other people say gouache. I've heard people say gouache, so you can say, I guess you can say it any way you want. I have heard someone say gouache and say that is the proper pronunciation of it. So I don't really know if that is or not, so I'm just going to go with gouache, because it sounds like wash, but only with a G and a U at the beginning. So we'll just go with gouache. Hey y'all, so that was the gouache that you saw, the little quick video of me painting with the gouache, and now I'm going to do the watercolor, so that way you can kind of get just kind of see what the difference is. It was actually not that bad. The gouache is very, very similar to the watercolors, but like I showed you, like I told you before, the gouache is more opaque, so it's not as see-through or translucent as the watercolor, but I will show you kind of the difference between the two, just so that you can see them side by side. Like I said, the gouache, if you want a more detailed look to your painting, I would go with gouache. And if you want a more watered down look, I would definitely go with watercolors. Or you can do gouache look like watercolors, if you just add more water to make it look like watercolors. And whereas that's basically what it looks like in comparison. As you can see, this is way more detailed, whereas this is just kind of watery. And this one is watery, but this one's definitely more watercolory. So if you like a more watered down look, then I would go with watercolors. And if you like more opaque and acrylic slash oily kind of look to it, I would go with gouache. And I like that about gouache, that you can make it look watercolor-ish, but it may not be as good as watercolor. But also I did try a cheaper version of gouache just because I had a gift card from Hobby Lobby a friend of mine gave me, and so I was like, you know, I could just use it on gouache, you know. And since I had the gift card, and I was like, you know, I could spend it on more expensive, like Winsor and Newton gouache on hobbylobby.com, but I figured I would just go to the store and buy the cheaper kind first, and just so I can see if I even like it, because I don't really like to buy expensive paint unless I know for sure that I actually like doing this. So that way I don't waste a whole lot of money on paint that, you know, I'm not even going to use. So I always buy the cheapest brand first to see if I like it and, you know, get better at it and whatever. And then I graduate to a more expensive brand like Winsor & Newton. So, which Winsor & Newton is my favorite watercolor paint that I use. So I definitely will, if I continue to enjoy the gouache, I will probably buy their paint eventually. So, but yeah, that is gouache versus watercolors. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. I plan on making more videos just like this one. So thanks so much. Y'all have a great day.